Don't fall. Don't fall. This is going to trigger some people because the camera's lopsided. And I'm going to do my best here. There. Kind of looks the same. But anyway, guys, happy... What day is it? Wednesday. It's Wednesday. So happy hump day. Welcome aboard. Welcome, everyone. I hope you have a drink. You might need it. You might need a little something to get this information down, right? Because, oh my God, I don't even know how to start these videos anymore. I'm just like so disgusted. I'm so appalled. Again, there are over 300 documents, guys, and I'm trying to do my best to read all of them for you so you don't have to, right? I'll decipher them for you so you don't have to be sick to your stomach while you're skimming these gross ass documents. Now again, this is a channel where I'm talking about my personal opinion, theories, and they are for entertainment purposes only. That being said, I want you guys to share your point of view with me as well. It's very important you guys share that. Remember, we literally do this out of the kindness of our heart, right? A lot of us are still, to this day, talking about the IDAHO4 because, well, a lot of us don't think Bryan Kohberger had anything to do with the IDAHO4. We have this gut feeling and no data to suggest that he was even there. Bill Thompson even said at the sentencing they could not place Mr. Kohberger at the house. And now I am going to be reviewing two documents. It's 208 and 210, where cops are literally bragging about buying K-bars and submitting it as evidence. And it's gross. And we know that so many people have seen this case and they're like, it's a done deal. Nika, stop talking about it. Mr. Kohberger pled guilty, therefore that means he unalived all these victims, right? But we know that 95% of cases in America end up, you know, people pleading out. So I'm just gonna shut my mouth for now and now let you decide what you think about these horrific cops. And I have a lot of you guys reaching out to me on Instagram. They're like, wow, Nika, you talk so poorly. You speak so poorly about Moscow PD. You speak so poorly about the cops there. You speak so poorly about little children of the corn-esque towns, but you live in Chicago. There's so much crime. And I would rather, like I have said before, deal with the crime in a big city, deal with zooming bullets or whatever, purse snatchers, versus having to deal with shady ass police officers. Is it back? Is it back? Sorry, there was a scammer trying to call me. You guys are gonna judge me because this is what the internet does, right? Look, I'm so evil. I'm drinking something bad for me, but at this point, enough. Document 208, Law Supplemental Narrative 208, typed up by Brett Payne, the best detective in the world. Lil Payne, right? Lil Payne. ISP, Amazon purchase items 157. Evidence item 733. And remember this number as we go forward because I'm going to be analyzing document 210 as well. So 733, remember that. 733 is the K-bar. 734 is a K-bar sharpener. 735 are vegan supplements. Now, when you first read the document, if you just magically read, for whatever reason, you pick out document 208 and you start reading it, you're going to be like, oh, wow, they submitted evidence, you know. They submitted this K-bar, the sharpener, and these supplements. But we already covered all of the other documents. And if you missed yesterday's live, go watch that before this, because otherwise you're going to be very confused, my friend. And in yesterday's live, we covered some of the items that were found at Koberger's car. And it was like, oh my gosh, all this creepy stuff that Koberger had. Vegan supplements and triangles for roadside emergencies and a car jack, right? That was it. But here it's like, wait a minute. They submitted evidence? They submitted a K-bar and a K-bar sharpener and vegan supplements? So one would assume, oh, Mr. Koberger, these must be his belongings. But keep reading. On Tuesday, June 13, 2023, Detective Darren Gilbertson from ISP provided me with 3 packages he obtained by ordering the items from Amazon. Gilbertson, right? Gilbertson is the same person that went all the way to PA and was bullshitting with Mr. Koberger, trying to get him to open up about school and the PhD program. And this is the same man, Detective Gilbertson, that is working with ISP and ordering these items. Sir, Detective Gilbertson, sir, I have some questions, sir. Why are you ordering K-bar sharpeners, and vegan supplements? One could argue maybe they were going to use those at trial. We know they were planning for a trial. But why in the fuck would Detective Gilbertson order a K-bar sharpener, and vegan supplements? Do you see where I'm going with this? Detective Gilbertson stated the detective purchased the items in the same fashion used by Koberger to purchase a K-bar with sheath, a K-bar sharpener, and a bottle of supplements. But they haven't been able to show us those receipts yet, right? So why is this detective buying K-bars and K-bar sheaths? I photographed each of these packages and their content along with the order paperwork Detective Gilbertson provided. The packages contained 1 K-bar straight fining knife with a leather USMC sheath, a K-bar sharpener, and a bottle of vegan supplements. I attached all photos to this case and booked all of the items into MP evidence on June 13, 2023. So here is Detective Gilbertson from ISP ordering all this shady ass shit. He's ordering K-bars. He's ordering K-bar sharpeners, and he even ordered Mr. Koberger's vegan supplements. And then they submitted all of this into Moscow Police Department evidence. Wait a minute. This is looking a little bit strange to me, and you might disagree. Let me know your opinions, please, in the comment section and also in the chat. That being said, we know that there were K-bars found and other knives found before this was ever done, right? We've talked about it. We've covered all of these legal documents that I'm going through one by one. And they never bothered to submit those into evidence, right? Because the brightest detective ever, Detective PAYNE, says, it doesn't look like this K-bar that was found by other officers could be the actual weapon. It doesn't look like this other kitchen knife could be the actual weapon. We don't need to submit that into evidence. But you know what we will submit into evidence? We will submit the K-bar and the K-bar sharpener and the vegan supplements that Detective Gilbertson ordered through Amazon. Yeah, let's look at that. We're going to submit that as evidence. Now, what the fuck? I mean, they're so bad for you, Nika. You shouldn't drink that. Oh my god. You should get like the stuff with the real sugar, Nika. Oh my god. It's so unhealthy for you. You should be drinking tea. Okay, it's like 100 degrees here in Chicago. So don't tell me what to do. Now, let's go to Law Supplemental Narrative, sequence number 210. Typed up by Officer Vargas. On June 7th, 2023, I reached out to the chief medical examiner for the Spokane County Medical Examiner's Office to arrange a meeting with the Leda County prosecutor's team. Dr. S stated she could meet me on June 28th, 2023, which worked for the prosecuting team. On June 27th, I met with TS, MPD evidence technician, and then had item 733, K-bar knife, released to me so I could bring it to the meeting with Dr. S. I logged item 733 into a temporary lockbox in MPD detectives as our meeting was on the following day. On June 28th, I removed item 733 from the lockbox and brought it to me to Spokane. So again, a little bit weird in my opinion, right? They are pulling this K-bar and this K-bar sheath that was submitted and purchased by Moscow PD. They're taking it to the medical examiner and they're like, does this match the wounds? Does this knife that we purchased on Amazon, could this be used to match any of the wounds that were found on any of the victims? On June 28, 2023 at 10:30 a.m., myself along with Bill Thompson, Ashley Jennings, Jeff Nye, and Ingrid Beatty met with Dr. S at the County Medical Examiner's Office. Dr. S had pre-selected several photos from each victim to go over with us so she could describe the shape of a weapon which would have caused the injuries. I removed the K-bar knife from the sealed package and showed it to Dr. S. Dr. S stated the shape and size of the K-bar knife was consistent as being the weapon which could have caused the injuries on all four of the victims. So here's Dr. S, here's the medical examiner telling the entire prosecution and this officer, Officer Vargas, saying, yeah, the knife that you guys bought on Amazon could match the injuries on the victims. Okay, but that's not a knife that you found. That is not the weapon. And what about the weapons that were actually found that should have been submitted to Moscow PD evidence that were never tested? What about those weapons? What about those knives that for whatever effing reason our best detective ever decided we don't really need to submit those as evidence. We don't really need to test those. Why wouldn't you bring those knives to the medical examiner's office? You found a K-bar. You literally found a K-bar that could have been potentially used like in the IDAHO4, during the IDAHO4. But that one, you're like, I don't think this is consistent. I don't think this K-bar is the one that could have caused the unalivings. Let's not look at that one. Let's just order our very own from Amazon. Dr. S described how some of the wounds had 2 points on either end and how some wounds had 1 point on one end and a square shape at the other end. Dr. S explained how the K-bar knife could have created these wounds depending on the depth of the injury. Dr. S explained the tip of the knife, having sharp edges on either side, would show a wound with the points on either end. Dr. S described a deeper wound would show a point on one side and the square on the other, and how it matched the shape of the knife blade, having the single sharp edge on one side and a square edge on the other below the tip. So then technically, this could also match the other K-bar that was found that was never submitted as evidence, right? Dr. S pointed out some of the wounds had a mark that was consistent with the guard of the K-bar knife. Dr. S described how the wounds could look different depending on the skin stretching, the dynamics of the situation at the time, the angle or position the knife was in when it was inserted and or removed, and how a victim was moving or not moving at the time. Which is odd because remember, they had told us that the victims were sound asleep. That's what they first told us. So it's insane. Dr. S described some injuries depicted that the strength of the weapon itself and the force used would have been great. We concluded our meeting with Dr. S. I brought item 733, aka the K-bar that was purchased by Detective Gilbertson from Amazon, back to MPD and booked it back into MPD evidence. Reviewed Corporal Payne, June 30th, 2023. Of course, Corporal Payne reviewed it. And look, again, it is one thing for detectives, investigators, whatever, to assume, okay, maybe a K-bar was used. Okay, maybe we will purchase, like they did, our very own K-bar from Amazon and bring it in to this medical examiner to see if this type of K-bar could match the wounds. But it's another thing where you are buying a K-bar, you're buying a sheath, and you are also buying the vegan supplements. And not only that, but what makes this way more strange, in my opinion, is that there were other knives found. We've already talked about those in the past lives. Please go watch them. But those were never submitted as evidence. Why? Because Detective Payne looked at him and said, yeah, there's no way this K-bar could have killed 4 people. That's how he concluded that, right? We know that the proper protocol is if a K-bar or another kitchen knife or whatever is found, the proper procedure is to submit everything into evidence, right? Because you can't just look at a knife and say, yeah, this is not it. This K-bar did not unalive the 4. No way, no how. Especially because Detective Payne was so new to his job. So what do we have here? A whole bunch of reasonable doubt, yet again. And I'm getting to the point, guys, where I'm like no longer surprised. Unfortunately, right? Like my standards have dropped dramatically because in the beginning, I gave them the benefit of the doubt. You gave them the benefit of the doubt. We're like, look, cops are human. Cops are fuck ups sometimes because they are human. Anyone can make mistakes. But here we are on document 210 out of 314. And all we keep finding is shady shit. And what's more bothersome is that so many people don't talk about Koberger anymore. They're like, he pled guilty. He's the one. He's the one. His DNA was on the sheath. And don't even get me started on all the other K-bars that we saw right before the IDAHO4. Everybody and their mother was taking pictures with K-bars. All these frat boys, all these sorority girls. Did we not see Dylan taking pictures with a K-bar? That's it for the day, guys. Now I'm just letting you guys know because a lot of you get upset with my post document rants. So hello, Emma. Hello, Layla. Hello, Sandy. Hello, Rise. Hello, Michael. Hi, Sherry. Hello, Dina. Shady-ass prosecutors and judges. Exactly. Kimberly says, one of the psychics said that the cops are laughing about getting away with it. Yeah, I can see that, right? I can see that. In my mind's eye, I can see that. But what also made it very strange for me was in that sentencing, go watch the video, what do we see? What did I point out to you guys? During that sentencing, we see Detective Payne, you know, doing this. I'll show you what he was doing. I'll show y'all what he was doing. Literally doing this. is all so sad. Oh my God. Why are you being a little bitch and fake crying? And look, I'm not buying that shit for a second. I'm not buying that shit for a second. Why are you all of a sudden so emotional? This is one of the pros, I guess, of being neurodivergent, and I know a lot of you guys are. We have amazing pattern recognition. We may be socially awkward sometimes, but we have great pattern recognition. And one of the patterns that I have recognized in the Detective Payne and other officers is, you know what? There's a whole bunch of bullshit. Every time that those officers were called to the stand by Ann Taylor and everybody else, no emotional, cold, dry, they can't remember shit. Every time Ann Taylor asks something, oh, I can't remember. I can't remember. Now, Officer Mary, I can't remember. I can't remember. I don't know. I don't know. We don't have that. We don't have that. That was the FBI. We don't know. They didn't remember anything, right? But every time that Ann Taylor pulled up documents, conversations, printed out conversations from their personal phones where they had been communicating with FBI agents and who knows who else, they magically remembered, right? So no, I'm not buying his fake ass crocodile tears. Go blow your fake tears and your snotty nose elsewhere, because I'm not buying it. Weird as hell. And what's even weirder is that now he's allegedly working for the university. How convenient. How convenient that all the chiefs that were involved in the IDAHO4 since the beginning, Roger Lanier, Chief Lanier, Chief Robert French Fry, they retired. Oh, but people retire all the time. Yeah, they do. But what a coincidence. What a coincidence. What a coincidence that for a while, Nathaniel Officer Rosendahl got moved to another location. What a coincidence, because that's the same guy that was allegedly harassing who? Kaylee G, right? Was this not the same cop that was taking pictures of girls' IDs? Was this not the cop that was showing up to 1122 King Road saying there was a noise complaint when there was actually zero noise in the video? Right? Oh, it's just another coincidence, Nika. You're just looking at patterns way too much. Just looking at patterns. You're just overthinking. You're just overthinking. You're just using your brain, you know? Just stop using your brain, Nika. All these, and now Detective Payne has a job allegedly at the university. Yeah, an awful lot of coincidences. And people are always like, well, you're always talking about coincidences, but can you give us concrete examples? Yeah, watch my videos from 2.5 years ago till now. Go, because you have a lot of catching up to do. And you will see that in every video, I list objective coincidences. I'm pretty sure that if you add them all up, there's over 1,000 coincidences throughout this case. So, yeah. Hello, Kimberly. Hello, my pal Sal. Hello, Phonetics. Hello, WB. Hi, Kelly. Hello, Paco. 187 pics at midnight in Maddie's bedroom. And by the way, I wanted to talk about this because we've mentioned the blue powder, probably rugs with the rolled up dollar bill next to it. We've never really figured out. We, for whatever reason, all assumed that it was found in Xana's and Ethan's bedroom, right? And I think we all jumped to that conclusion because on the floor and because everybody that was interviewed in these documents said that they were users, that they liked to use Adderall. But what if it was Dylan's room? She was on the same floor. Yeah, exactly. And that is never going to sit well with me, Paco. The fact that PAYNE got there hours later and then shifted the document to say that later, very much later, he saw the knife sheath from the doorway. You didn't see it the first time around, but then you magically saw it, right? Okay. All right. Hey, Toby. Hello. Phonetics. Hello, Allie. One would think after the MPD docs being released, we would have more answers, but no, we don't. We are just more concerned. We have more questions, and every document that I go through makes Brian Koberger look way less guilty, in my opinion. Sid, Rise, Mark says, I think everyone in town has a K-bar. They must have given them out at Connor Bar and Grub Truck as a promotion. I mean, you never know. Thank you, Michael. Yes, I always will do whatever I want to do. I will drink whatever I want. I will eat whatever I want. I will say whatever I want. I can't be controlled. Sherry says, I'll have what she's having. I just, for a little while, I was like, I'm not going to, because people are so judgmental on the internet. It's like, God, just let us live, Like, we're all going to die of something, bro. And it's not like I'm chugging 10 of these a day. I have these very rarely, but you know how the internet is. Everyone is so brave behind a keyboard in their mom's basement. So I'm done, guys. I'm just ranting. Ooh, Paco, they all like to play pranks with K-Bar, so the prank is real, right? Unbelievable. Jessica, I will never go there, that's for sure. Moscow is Children of the Corn. Creepy. And I used to live, I've said this forever. I used to live in Delphi, Indiana. They seem very similar, and that's not a good thing. Get you a Jack and Coke, for real. That sounds strong, though. Idaho's general, a no-go for me. Hello, Belinda. Thank you so much. It's not about diet, zero sugar. It's about the burn. Caffeine gives me burn. I love caffeine. Hello, Michael. Michael says, Moscow PD seems like they have done everything backwards. Thank you. Yeah. Consistent and can match. Boycott Idaho. As one divided we fall. So did the doctor override Mabit's statement regarding a larger knife is used? Of course. Why wouldn't they? When this document, both 208 and 210 were typed up, these were in June 2023, way after the IDAHO4 had taken place. They knew this was probably going to be, it looked like it was going to trial. So why wouldn't you get the doctor to override that statement? You would, right? Because trial is looming and you have nothing on Brian Koberger. You said you were going to find all these kill kits and you didn't find shit. You found vitamin D3 and roadside triangles in his car. You have nothing on this man. SARS. Hello, Jennifer. Welcome. I'm glad you caught alive. Thank you so much for the kind comments, SARS. Hello, Nadine. I'm going to go back to the start. I appreciate you. Yes, girl, go back to the start because I think a lot of people are coming to the channel and they're fairly new. Maybe they're not all up to speed with everything that has taken place, but it is a complete shit show, Marge. Technically, they had a match. I mean, yeah, if you're going to buy your own K-Bar on Amazon and you're going to have this medical person override the original statement that was made by Coroner Mabet about larger knives and maybe other weapons being used. How convenient. Another coincidence. Brooke, welcome, welcome. Also, a hand axe was possibly used. Jennifer says, glad to be here. I love no nonsense crime analysis. It's not for everybody, right? You guys know I'm neurodivergent. I'm very blunt. I say what's on my mind, and I don't have the ability to bullshit, basically. It's a pro and a con. Yes, Sherry, please go watch that video, right? Go watch my videos from the beginning, because I talked about the Axe Bar that night, and who and everybody. I listed who was there. Dina, yes, I also talked about that. Please go watch that video, right? I talked about the fridge with the evidence that was broken down. Go watch that video. I talked about our normal protocols in my research laboratory. When you handle evidence like that, that's in a refrigerator, it can't fucking sit there for 8 to 12 hours like it did an MPD fridge, right? It was left there. Nobody dealt with it until the following day. What does that mean? That means that DNA and everything else that was in that fridge is basically useless. Everything had probably degraded. So they don't know what they're doing. And don't even get me started. Don't even get me started on the evidence warehouse that magically caught on fire and everything was, you know, disappeared. It burned down. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for the $10, Cheryl. Love your channel. Thank you so much. And it's a blessing to be able to come on here and talk to you guys. Again, this is something that, like, I can't just talk about at work, right? Like, people look at me like, this girl is like still talking about this case, and it's been almost 3 years. Like, you can't do this at work. So thank you guys for all of your support. Thank you, Cheryl, for that massive super chat. It means a lot. Especially because, like I said, I'm a regular person. Like, I think people forget when they're on YouTube. They forget that, like, not all of us make a living off of YouTube. Like, we don't, you know. I have a regular job, bills, family, everything, right? The whole shebang. This is literally out of, I'm doing it out of compassion and out of passion as well. Because we know, all of us here know how many of us are in here anyway? There's like over 12,000 of us now. We're growing slowly but surely. And I think all of us know that there's some bullshit happening in Idaho. So thank you guys for all the wonderful support. Let me know what you thought about this video. Leave a like, leave a comment. Make sure to vote. What do you think about these two documents exposing Moscow Police Department? What do you think about them bragging about buying a K-bar and then submitting it as evidence? If you think that's shady as fudge, please leave a 1. Thank you so much, Chappy Boss. Smash that DNA button, freaks. Thank you so much. $1.99. I appreciate it. Smash that Oh, you put the DNA. That's really cute. Thank you. But if you think that this is just regular investigation things, leave it too. But before you vote, put yourself in the shoes of a person who is being accused, because I'm sure that if you were being accused, you would not feel so hot about cops buying their own weapons off of Amazon and then submitting them as evidence, right? So thank you guys for joining me. Make sure to vote, and I hope to see you guys soon, because we have way more documents to go over. We still have over 100 documents, so I'll be back for sure. Thank you guys. Take care. Thank you guys for all the super chats. Jennifer, $2. Thank you guys. I got to see that before I got off here. Thank you so much. You guys are so kind. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Bye-bye.